Does that cover it, Tim? I'm trying to think if we missed
I
anything.
think that covers it. There's definitely a lot of stuff.
There really is. There's a ton of stuff.
You know what? I'm going to chime in here. You haven't hit the hard-hitting questions.
What?
Trio, I'm disappointed. As a
Oh,
DC fan,
The mustache.
did this movie, in fact, ruin Justice League? Did Henry
mustache?
Cavill's mustache pull it off?
Welcome, everybody, to a Delco Nerd Network Hot Take. Now, you might be asking yourself, Trio, what the hell is a hot take? Well, it's when a few of us here from the network sit down in a basement and talk about a movie, game, or TV show, review it, give our thoughts, our ideas. Today, we're talking Mission Impossible Fallout with me, my co-host, Mr. Tim. Mr.
What's
Tim
up,
Appleby.
nerds?
How's it going, guys? So, we saw this about 2 days ago. Overall, Tim, we're going to go no spoilers to begin with. How'd you feel about the movie?
Awesome. I think Mission Impossible is just like consistently like you know what you're getting when you get into it,
Mm-hmm.
and I think the last like 2 or 3 movies they've done were just awesome.
I
really enjoyed it. There was a few things like I even like leaned over to Trio in the theater and like I know exactly what's happening, and I was right.
Yeah.
But
The first
there was
one you
still
called
a
out
lot
was
of
great.
like twists and turns I really enjoyed. So yeah, I thought it was good.
That's
What
good.
about you?
Yeah, I enjoyed it a lot. It's funny. I actually, what was the last one? Rogue Nation or something? I think
Yeah, I forget what
whatever
it's
the
called.
last one was, I didn't love. I felt like it was a little boring, personally. I loved Ghost Protocol or whatever the
Yeah,
one was
that
before
was-
that, when he's on the
that
side of the
was-
building in Dubai
Right.
and all that stuff. That one was really cool. But yeah, I thoroughly enjoyed this movie. It was 2.5 hours long, and it didn't feel like it, which I appreciated. There
Yeah.
were a few lulls, but for the most part, it pushes you through. The action scenes are awesome, especially because they all felt, I don't know about you, they felt really practical most of the time to me.
Oh, yeah.
Like, they felt like he was actually they were doing what they were doing.
He was actually doing it. I didn't know. I actually didn't know this until like a couple months ago. But Tom Cruise has done all of his own stunts ever.
Yeah.
And I'm
Dude,
like,
he's
oh, wow.
insane.
That's like actually really cool.
And even like, but there's like stuff that you would maybe expect to even be more CGI. Like there's a motorcycle scene where he's on the chase scene. I was like, this looks so real, and he's like actually seems to be driving through the streets of Paris or wherever they are. And I was like, this is awesome. I love seeing that.
Yeah,
Like
that
it's
was really
really,
cool.
it's a nice breath of fresh air, especially when you see a lot of CGI and bullshit in movies these days. Tom Cruise, he's crazy, but god damn it, can he act?
Yeah, he's great.
I like you almost don't want, like he's great. He's awesome. I mean, he still looks pretty great. He kills it. Do you usually like him in movies? Is he usually one of your go-to guys?
He's got such an identifiable face, and it's just like weird in a certain way when he's in other movies. So I think like he's definitely fit into this Mission Impossible role.
Mm-hmm.
But I just think it's like hilarious how they make like this like 5'5", 5'4" tall guy seem like he's like a fucking like
Badass, like a kick-ass.
like which is awesome.
Yeah, of course.
It's really cool.
No, it's good. And I mean, there's one of the things I liked about this movie a lot was that I felt like the old movies had like a sort of campiness to them, if I'm
Yeah.
not mistaken. And this one, it kind of, whether it be on purpose or not, it captures that campiness in some scenes. I don't know. I'm trying to think of like an exact scene, but there was one where he gave like a smile. And I was like, that shouldn't have been in there. Why is he smiling here? But
I see like what you mean by campiness is sort of like
like
joking,
a wink, like to the
that-
audience. Like I
Right.
like that a lot. I think this movie had a lot of charm, and that makes it very enjoyable.
Oh yeah, I mean, there were like I thought that what was the Ghost Protocol, whatever the one, the
The one Dubai,
two previous
yeah,
ones.
yeah.
That one was like hysterical with
Awesome.
Benji. When that was that the first time he was introduced in Mission Impossible?
See, I don't know, because I'm not gonna lie. The first couple before Ghost Protocol, I wasn't really a big fan of the series. Well, not even not a big fan. I just didn't pay attention to it. I remember the one that was like at the beginning. He helps he's getting one of his friends or something out, and she has like a bomb behind her eye, and then did you ever see that one's like messed up because like she has a bomb in her head. It's like a pill-sized bomb, and they're trying to defuse it, and they can't, and it goes off. But it's not like her head.
Trio,
like,
that's Mission Impossible 3.
that is Mission Impossible 3.
Okay.
Yes.
Producer just
It's a fucking
confirmed.
great movie.
Thank dude. And like it's so messed up because like her head doesn't pop, but you hear like a snap, and her eye just goes the other way, and she's dead. And you're like, oh, that's
Yeah.
awful. And there's a part in this movie. It's near the end. It's like it's pretty messed up. Like
Oh,
what happened.
yeah.
Like,
I know
we'll
what you're
talk
talking
about
about,
it.
yeah.
But
that was sick. I like
it
that.
was.
Yeah.
It really was. Cavill, I think, is awesome in this. Superman, Henry Cavill. He plays.
I didn't even realize him.
You didn't realize
as
that's
soon as
him?
you said it, I'm like, wait.
Yeah, that's him. Yeah, dude. He's
That's
really
awesome.
good.
He was really good.
I
Yeah.
liked him a lot. I think he played his role really well. They took a direction with his character that I didn't actually see coming totally. I thought it was going to go a different way with him, but I think he was a welcomed addition to the franchise.
Oh yeah, he was awesome. Yeah.
He was just this big American spy, dude, Gooch, the arm cocking scene where he just as good in fucking the movie theater.
Oh yeah. The bathroom.
That
scene.
whole fight scene
that
was
whole
really
fight,
good.
Yeah, it was really good. There were a lot of really good fight scenes, just actual
practical, and it's not
choreographed practical fights. Yeah,
and
really,
it's
really good.
I hate it when a fight in a movie, and it's super old timey when they would do this. Basically, you're in a fight, and they're only focusing on who's punching who at once. So it'll just be a lot of cuts, and you'll just see a fist punching a face or a fist punching a gut. But this, it's wide shots. You see what everyone's doing. You see how they're controlling each person. It's good. It's really good.
Yeah, I think that actual style of that choreographed fight scene is more and more of the standard.
It is. It's getting
now, to even in The Last Jedi, that one scene in Snoke's.
It's all one shot.
It's all one shot, and you can see the whole dynamic of the room as everyone's fighting. Although I think that shot was done poorly, it was still they're trying to get to the standard of the new fight scene.
Mm-hmm. One of my favorite scenes out of Batman vs Superman, I know we go back to it, is the warehouse scene with Batman, and it's just one continuous shot of him controlling all 9 people in the room. There's never a point wait, why didn't that guy shoot at him or take him out? He's controlling everything. There's no spots where you were well, he could have obviously just been killed here. And then that's what I like to see in this too. It's really nice to see that just come together like that. I'm trying to think if there's another big action set piece that you see in the trailers that when they're flying in a helicopter. That I thought was awesome. I thought it was really cool. It's just Tom Cruise chasing Cavill's character in a helicopter, and you can tell it's all practical. They're actually swaying and doing crazy shit. It's a visceral movie.
That's insane. Yeah. That really was intense.
There's another scene where he's doing a chase scene. He's running on foot. That was actually really good too.
Yeah,
it was good. All the best.
That was not a spoiler, but that was when Tom Cruise actually broke a bone or something, right? Where he was
he jumps
he was
across
actually
the
jumping
thing.
across roofs, and he actually broke a bone. I think the cool thing is, I only noticed this when I was thinking about it later. After he takes that big hit on that building,
you see him
limping.
limp.
I'm pretty sure he actually broke his bone.
No, that is the shot where he broke his leg in.
And they kept it in the movie. Which is really cool.
It's hilarious. It's not hilarious. It's just insane. Tom Cruise is crazy the way he does all these stunts. And dude, I forgot about the big scene at the beginning. That halo jump. When they're jumping out of the airplane.
Oh yeah.
That's called they released the whole thing on it. It's called a halo jump, and it's insane. They've never done that in a movie before, so they had to have the specialized helmets to get the oxygen, and it's the highest basically.
So that
free
was
fall
not
jump.
CGI?
That was all practical.
No way,
dude.
All right,
look up the YouTube video. I'm not kidding.
Yo, Gooch, can you confirm this?
Dude, look.
I don't even.
Because what happened?
I can confirm that he is right.
So,
yes,
okay,
they did release a little docu
vignette,
feature of them doing this,
and how they
halo
prepared
jump.
for it, and even they showed that how
so
they
it was
did
just Tom Cruise, right? Cavill had.
No, I think Cavill might have been up there too.
Could you imagine if something went wrong?
No, but that's
you would just destroy two of the best actors in the game.
I was actually James Corden and Tom Cruise was on James Corden the other night, and they did this thing where he took him skydiving, and it was really funny. James Corden was like, this is gonna suck if we both die, right? I'm gonna get no press coverage. They're gonna be like, Tom Cruise, biggest movie person ever, dies. Oh yeah, and the guy who sings in the car died too.
Oh my God.
I was like, it's so fucking true. What's gonna happen? But overall, this movie's great. I don't think we can talk about much else without spoiling anything.
Right, yeah.
So
I have a question. I'll throw one at you. Do you think I know this movie, since I haven't seen it, this movie is a sequel of Rogue Nation.
Yeah.
Do you think you need to see Rogue Nation to see this
Absolutely
movie?
I didn't see it.
Okay.
I barely remember it, if I'm honest. So,
okay.
yeah.
If I did see it, I didn't.
I don't know.
I'm too fucked up to remember anything.
But yeah, so getting into spoilers now. Spoilers.
All right.
Go see this movie. I think it's worth it. I think you should definitely see it in the movie theater too. I
Yeah.
think that really adds on to it.
Yeah, definitely.
With all the action scenes. So, back to Cavill's character. I really liked the way they took him. So, the way I expected it to go was he was going to join the team, and then he's going to be like, hey, Hunt, I'm here to watch you, but don't fuck up, and he's going to be on him the whole time. But then they realized there was a third really big bad guy, and then he's like, all right, we'll work together. No big deal. Yeah. But it actually ended up being that Cavill was this Lark character they're searching for throughout the whole movie, which is basically this agent who has infiltrated the government and wants to set up this syndicate of people to topple all governments on Earth because they believe that they're ineffective. Does that sound about right?
They don't fully explain the philosophy too much of the movie, which is fine.
Exactly.
That's not why you go. But he was basically, I guess, like the head of this like syndicate, or a big key player in this syndicate.
Yeah.
John Lark, right?
That's his name? That's what I believe. Yeah, Mr. Lark.
And what ends up happening, like the whole arc of this, his like entanglement with MH. What's the organization? It's the CIA and
no, it's the IMF. That's the one that
so
Hunt
his
works
whole
for.
entanglement there is so he's trying to frame Hunt for being John Lark and like trying to infiltrate and like assume his own identity as the villain while at the same time that's exactly what he's doing.
Yeah, he's actually doing. What that's
so it's like this big like
and it's
weird...
interesting because they have the third guy in it that he like frees. I can't remember his name. The guy in the straitjacket that they have to free from the convoy. And basically, he's a guy that you
Lane. Yeah,
you may or may not have seen him in another movie or something.
Yeah,
I don't know.
He was the villain in Ghost Protocol.
Okay. Sure. Oh, he was. Yeah. Okay. All right. So he's back, and Cavill's character doesn't even give a fuck about Hunt. He was like, he could die without being framed. I just want all governments to be toppled because I think they're all corrupt and blah 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 blah.
Right.
But this other guy from Ghost Protocol basically wants to frame Ethan and have him sit in a jail cell and watch the whole world go to shit. It's a very Dark Knight Rises actually. Now that I think about it.
Yeah, that was one part of the movie I didn't quite understand, which was this like vengeance of Solomon Lane,
and I guess
to frame Ethan Hunt, and like I just didn't get that. I'm like, why would you let?
And maybe that would help if we did see the other movies. Maybe that is actually a one point of like seeing an older movie would have helped, or the one with him in it. He maybe would have gotten that emotional connection more, but I definitely agree. It was one of the weaker spots of like, wait, what the fuck is going on here? Why are we doing this? One of my big gripes with every movie these days, I say this all the time, it's a little long. Like, we can shave off a good 20 minutes.
It was long.
We could shave, like, there's one scene where the chick's following Hunt, like, through Paris, and, like, she walks, and then you see him walk around the corner, and then she walks to that corner, and then you see him walk around the corner, and then I'm like, guys.
A good, like, 3 minutes
of
just, like, walking.
I'm like, come on, we can cut this out. We don't need this.
And then not only that, but there was a scene, the helicopter scene, where he's like, one of the helicopters is carrying, like, a payload dangling down, and he grabbed onto this payload and was climbing up this rope to get to the top of the helicopter, and then he falls. And grabs the end of the payload and just does it again.
Yeah.
Like, just like
that
really,
was just because that looked real. I think that was real too. I think that was practical because I assume he had a harness on, green screen harness, attached to the thing. That's CGI'd out. He fell. I mean, it could have been fake. It looked super real to me.
If we figured out that was an accident. And he actually
just grabbed him
and just like actually grabbed onto that, and like that'd be like sick. Like, thank you.
Pay this man double.
But if that was just
just the way it was set up, it was just like that was unnecessary. Yeah, it was just a moment to look cool. I agree.
Yeah. There was a couple of scenes like that, I think, but overall, everything was awesome. The scene where the White Widow is, you're meeting the White Widow for the first time, and they're in that dark like theater room.
Yeah.
And
that, like,
Ethan Hunt convinces the White Widow that like he's John
Lark, and that all the people are actually going after her, and then
and he's like escorting this woman through this theater, and like all these guys are like trying to assassinate her or him. And he's just like one by one, just taking them down. They're very stealthy. Like, it's such a cool.
I love
scene.
it. Then she just pulls out like a butterfly knife and just fucks a dude up.
I'm a sucker for butterfly.
I was like, yes, that looks cool, and you killed him. Cool, great, amazing. I'm trying to think. The one scene that you called to me was I thought I liked that a lot. Basically, the reveal of Cavill's character. You think they're taking the other bad guy, you think they're taking what's his name?
You think so? What happens was they captured Solomon Lane, who's like this ugly villainous dude, and
They
they're
put
trying
his
to
face,
figure
of course.
out how they can trade him without giving him up.
Yeah,
So they
for
they
these
think,
for these nuclear warheads or whatever they are.
exactly.
Yeah.
So they come up with, all right, Benji, we're gonna make a mask for Benji, disguise
Classic Mission
him as
Impossible
Solomon
mask.
Lane while we keep Solomon Lane in this jail cell. But what actually happened was they took the real Solomon Lane and put Genji in this. Or
Yeah,
Benji. I
yeah.
keep calling him Genji.
Isn't that from like Lord of the Rings?
No, that's Overwatch.
That I can confirm that is an Overwatch.
Okay. Thank you, Gooch. Okay.
So Benji is the cell, and Cavil's character is Cavil's character is acting like he's the real Solomon Lane. And
Well, not
discussing
he's
his
just
plan.
he thinks he's the real Solomon
Right.
Lane, so he starts to exactly.
And it's just so cool how the whole thing played out, where like they basically got this character on recording saying
that
like,
he is the person, and the way
Right.
he even realizes. I love how he realizes he's like, he said it forever. IMF is just a bunch of fucking people playing Halloween and masks, and then he
he's
like
oh,
and then he's
no.
like, what do you mean? I was like, oh, that's so fucking
Yeah,
good.
that was awesome.
It was a really fun time, and like I said, the 2.5 hour thing was a gripe, but I will say that I wasn't very bored at all
I
throughout
wasn't
it.
bored at all. I mean, I had to pee the whole movie, and I was like, I can't miss this. Like,
There was one point where I
miss it.
checked when he was doing that walking scene. I'm like, all right, how much time do we have left? And it was like an hour. I was like, oh, okay. But then that hour was like that.
Yeah.
I was like, oh shit, we're at the end.
It all started. Well, it was also because the last hour was like the bomb scene.
Totally,
It was just like,
yeah.
all right, now you've got this countdown. Now it's like, okay, it's the edge of your seat time.
Mm-hmm.
Like, let's see this happen.
And it is such like the classic. And this is what I almost mean by campy, like the classic Mission Impossible or just like action movie. Like, all right, he has the detonator, but for some reason the detonator has this one thing on it that if you take off, you can deactivate both the bombs that are supposed to be linked. So if you deactivate one of them, then the other one goes off. I was like, why would anyone make that? You'd have a switch on the thing and then you throw out. I would have kicked the goddamn detonator off the side of the cliff.
Right, yeah.
When we landed there,
Well,
and be
maybe
like,
he didn't
bitch.
know. I
I
guess the idea is he
but
doesn't
even
know
still, I guess you're right. He wouldn't know that
He
he's
wouldn't have
going
known.
for that. Yeah,
Yeah.
no, that's a good point. That's a very fair
that. He
point.
would think he's just there to kill him.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's true. Good point. Good point.
But it was definitely classic 1 second left. Trust Ethan. You know. Like,
yeah, just like,
yeah.
all right, we just have to cut it at the last second. What? Yep, we just have to trust him. I mean, it's true, though. At the end of the day, you would have died either way.
Yep.
Say he didn't,
Exactly.
and you
So
cut it,
wait
it
till the
goes
last
off.
possible
Yeah,
second
exactly.
To blow it up. Yeah, makes sense.
It was good.
It was good. All of the acting was very pleased with.
I agree.
I didn't think anyone was like.
It was like phoning it
Out of
in or
place.
like.
Actually, the one like cameo was Ethan's ex-wife's new husband.
Oh,
I thought that was just like why.
It's like, hey,
why
well,
are
it was
you
just that.
here?
It was just that
He's
classic
just
thing
there
of,
to
like
be like,
she had,
I'm a great guy.
and
Like,
and she found another one, but you can't have. Yeah, it's so no, it's very true. It's very
I
cliche.
just didn't like that at all.
Yeah, and it was the
The thing
cheap
is,
guy.
his character, the actor that played that character, he looks like a villain.
Oh, he looks
So
like he
I'm
was
the
in
whole
Hunger
time
Games.
thinking,
Yeah,
like,
so he's this
you,
fuck.
I know you.
I did think that was a good
Yeah.
twist of they're like, well, why is he putting it by this little camp? And then like he
Right.
showed, and then I was like, oh, okay, that's a good one. That's a good pull. Great pull. I thought the other new chick was his wife for about the first half an hour.
Yeah, we talked about this
Yeah.
right after that happened. I'm like, I didn't
Realize
know
they
the
were
difference between, what was
saying-
her name?
Elsa, and then his wife
her
or his
wife.
ex-wife. Yeah.
the way that they like showed them in pictures, I'm like,
Oh,
what?
it's the same person.
Yeah,
Yeah. Like,
sure.
and then she'd be like, oh, is that your wife? And it's like, wait, that's you, isn't it? Like, what is going? But
Yeah,
yeah.
I probably just something like I forgot from the last. I'm sure she was in all the previous
Totally.
movies too.
Yeah.
but-
No, she was. Well, I don't think the new chick was. Or no, she had to have been, I guess.
Yeah, 'cause
because
then
they
they
knew
knew
her.
her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting. They looked very similar too.
They did.
Very similar. But does that cover it, Tim? I'm trying to think if we missed
I
anything.
think that covers it. There's definitely a lot of stuff.
There really is. There's a ton of stuff.
You know what? I'm gonna chime in here. You haven't hit the hard-hitting questions.
What?
Trio, I'm disappointed. As a
Oh,
DC fan,
The mustache.
did this movie in fact ruin Justice League? Did Henry
mustache?
Cavill's mustache pull it off? Give me,
What was like was
Great.
like
Give me-
the
give me-
mustache key to this movie? Like
Yes.
because I imagine that whole thing going down of like the WB lawyer went into the Paramount lawyer or whatever it is, and then it's Jeff from college that he knew, and Jeff hates him because he cheated on his girlfriend with him. So then he was like, "Oh, you want to shave off Henry Cavill's mustache for Justice League? Oh, you can perfectly recreate it in CGI for us if we need you to. Fuck out of here! I don't like you. That's it." Because there is absolutely no reason that they could have. because there was some CGI on his face in this. His beard was fuller in some of the earlier, trailers.
You're insinuating that Henry Cavill at some point in this movie had shaved.
No, I don't think he shaved. I think they CGI'd
the beard got
some
longer.
of the beard off. Because he had
Christ.
a thicker beard in the earlier trailers. He totally fucking did. And I don't know if they changed it, but like his mustache became more pronounced and they went with like the stubble look. I was like, interesting.
Oh, yeah. Halfway through the movie, he did change up a little bit.
I didn't even think it was more even at the beginning. I just thought I noticed it because I'm a weirdo when they released the trailer first. I was like, his beard definitely got lighter. I feel
dude, I mean, everyone's different, but I don't know how shaving would be that big of a deal. Like, this shit grows back in like 2 weeks.
See,
like,
but that's why I think it was like a personal vendetta with those lawyers for some reason.
No.
They apparently like Warner Brothers bought in test footage of like Batman vs Superman and CGI'd a beard on him and was like, guys, it looks, just to show that they could do it. They were like, guys, we'll pay for this and like we can do it easily for you. And then Paramount was like, no.
So yes or no, did Mission Impossible Fallout ruin the Justice League?
No, but I mean, like, don't get me wrong.
No, but they did give him a really cool middle finger. So,
middle finger?
What do you mean?
Yeah, well, Paramount said like no.
Oh, exactly.
yeah,
I
like that a lot.
I thought you meant like literally.
I mean, like in Justice League,
bullshit.
the first fucking, and that was just that whole fucking. That movie shouldn't have been filming when Mission Impossible came out. So really, it was WB's fault. But it was Paramount kind of a dick for not letting him shave his mustache.
So
yes,
on a 1 to 10 scale, how was the mustache?
10. He looked great.
Absolutely.
Henry, by the end, he gets all. They fuck up his face.
Oh yeah.
Oh, no.
That's the last
And I
scene.
was like,
Yeah.
No, Henry Cavill.
I was like, that
he's
beautiful
a good-looking
face.
guy.
Like
It's
it gets.
like,
Do you care if we
dude.
say what happens to it?
I don't want to hear it now.
I felt bad. It was good. It was actually visceral when it happened.
I don't want to
The
know.
whole end scene. I mean, Gooch, cover your ears if you don't want to hear. But like, it's like just the helicopters that they're in just get obliterated
And crash.
And they
and
just like they're sliding through rock crevices, like all this stuff, and then at the very end, like the helicopter Cavil's in, like just tumbles off this cliff and gets caught on like a tiny hook.
like an iron.
Yeah, and
that they
his
were using.
body like slides across the rock, and then when he comes back up, you see like his face. Is
Well,
just,
see, no, that was from when. Remember, he was in the helicopter, and like the fuel line or whatever breaks, and it all over his face. But yeah,
it was good.
It was really
very
good.
Two-Face moment,
and
I
it was
liked a
very
lot.
like,
Yeah.
oh, I didn't think they'd do this with him.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was great, guys. It really was. I think it's worth seeing in the theater. I think that about covers everything we wanted to talk about today. Gooch, do you have anything else?
No, you've answered my questions.
I'm glad to hear it.
I think the only thing I would say is it could have been funnier at the right moments.
I would have liked to see Benji used a little bit more too.
Yeah,
Because I
like,
think
there was
Simon
a little
Pegg-
bit of play and like they tried to have a little fun with it, but it sort of fell short for me a lot. But then again, when you go see a Mission Impossible movie, you're not going for the
like
comedy.
crazy
Yeah.
good story you're
You're
coming
going to
no.
like just get on the edge
To
of your
enjoy
seat
yourself,
and just, like, rock on, you know, like.
And even like there was some like very funny. There's this whole over speech at the or talk over. What is this word I'm looking for? Basically, someone's talking and they're saying like the world needs the IMF and blah blah blah. And they're giving this whole kind of hero speech. I'm like, did this just turn into the Justice League or like or the Avengers? What's going on here?
Right.
This is like very weird. But anyways, go see the movie. At least an 8 out of 10 for me. Probably a 9. But
I would say 8 for me. Yeah.
All right. Well, that's that for us, guys. Thank you so much for watching. If you're watching live on Twitch, we appreciate it so much. You can find us on Facebook.com/Delco Nerd Network, YouTube.com/Delco Nerd Network, as well as Instagram and Twitter @Delco Nerds. You can find this in podcast forms on iTunes, Pocket Casts, Google Play, and I'm missing another one. I can't remember what it is. There's another one, and it's gonna bug me, but I can't remember what it was.
We'll have this.
We'll
in the
have
video
it. Yeah.
description, but if
You can
wanna
find the
see more-
podcast on iTunes and Android.
Yeah, and on
formats.
Pocket Cast, I had one more that I put it on because it was very easy and free. But that's that. Thanks so much, guys. We'll see you next time. For Tim, I've been Trio, and stay nerdy, guys.